I have to welcome everybody to Norway for a workshop with Josh Sim, all the way from Malaysia. Everybody give a big applause for Josh Sim.
So, thank you and welcome to the workshop. My impression of the Norwegian people look like this. Actually, the real Norwegian people look like this. Yeah. And I also learned that there is one word in Norway that is very, very, very important. Yeah, this word means if you don't like something, you use this word. I hope that after this workshop, you will not say Jocelyn workshop. I hope you will not. Well, this is the content of the workshop today. Yeah. First, I will give introduction of myself and some of my work, and then we will do a master class. The title or the topic of the master class is creating underwater world, and after that, we'll do a tank demo. Okay, my name is Josh. Yeah. I have a small gallery in Malaysia, and this is a private gallery. It means we are not open for any visits. But even though it is not open for public, if any one of you ever come to Malaysia, you are all welcome. Yeah. But if you want to come sooner, faster, because I don't know how long I will keep this open because it is not commercial. Normally, but when you come to this kind of event, I like to show off a little bit of my achievement. This is a tank that I started 2008, which is like 16, 17 years ago. I am actually very proud of this tank because without this tank, I won't be where I am today. You know, no matter how you think your tank is not good enough, just think about this, that Jocelyn made this tank 16 years ago, and you will feel very good about yourself. And now I would like to show you some evolution of my aquascaping style. My style actually changes a few times. Yeah, so at the very beginning, I started in 2008, but in 2009 I started to go into the contest. So for the first 8, 9 years, I'm only doing forest. And this tank is Congo. It is basically my last forest tank. That is in 2017. After Congo, I have basically decided to stop forest. Yeah, I won 3 world champions with the forest tank. Maybe I should take a break from forest and do something else. So from 2008 and 2009, these 2 years, my style totally changed. I call this style as NA hybrid. NA means natural aquarium, which is from the ADA plus, let's say, direction. It is not a pure NA style, but it is slightly different. So from that 2 years, my style changed to this type. And this Dream On is my last tank with the NA hybrid style. I won another 2 world champion using this style. So I thought, yeah, maybe I should try something new again. From 2020 until now, my style changed from underwater, NA underwater. And I think I will continue because I haven't won a world champion yet. Because there are not too many underwater style aquascaping now in the aquascaping world. There are many styles in aquascaping. NA style, Dutch, mountain, diorama. You want to choose the style that you like. Underwater style is the root of aquascaping. The main objective is to create something underwater. I feel that underwater aquascape, it gives the fish a good home. I'm not a fish person in the last, let's say, in the first 10 years of my aquascaping journey. But the last few years, I start to pay more attention to fish and start to try to understand what they like and they don't like. I noticed that there are many aquascape is giving the fish a lot of stress, and that is not good for the fish. Of course, we don't know whether the fish is happy or not. From research, we can roughly guess. Underwater aquascape is a fun challenge. It is, to me, one of the most difficult styles to manage. Underwater and landscape, or we call it terrestrial design, are 2 different styles. Landscape is like meaning mountains, forests, jungle, and all this. We are talking about shapes and forms. It means something that you can go to a jungle, a mountain, and you can touch that. That's why I say landscape is about shapes and forms. If we talk about underwater, it is artistic in conception. It means something abstract. You cannot touch what is underwater. what is most important thing about underwater aquascape is that you need to create a flow. You need to let people feel that even in a picture, your aquascape is moving, flowing. I mean, how can you demonstrate a moving water in an aquascape? Especially in a photo. So that is why I say underwater is very abstract. You cannot touch. That is why I feel this is more challenging, and I like this challenge. You know, this is exactly the shape and forms, forest, valley, mountain, river. If we or you have the hardscape like this, you can easily hit the aquascape following this because it is something you can see. But if we talk about underwater, you know, the flowing of water, this is not something that we can duplicate easily in our tank because this is a feeling. It is not something concrete that you can, for example, you want to build a tree, a forest, you just use a wood and you do it like a tree shape, and that is a tree. But how do you do something like the water is flowing? It is not easy. That is why I feel that, underwater aquascape, it is what I'm very fascinated about now because it is a challenge. Now I want to show you some real underwater aquascape example so that you can get a feeling or get a better understanding what is, let's say, underwater aquascape. This is a masterpiece by our Japanese master, Masashi Ono. I think most of you know him. You know, he created a very beautiful aquascape for microscope. With the two fish there. So it is really looks like what you will see in a river. And this is my tank. I created an aquascape for samurai ramen. And to create this tank, actually, I put in a lot of research to really study how the fish likes. And I created this tank especially for this fish. This is this year by our Spanish friend Ismail, and he just won the Spanish contest. I think this is one of the best underwater tank this year. It really gives us a underwater feeling like you are in a river and the water is flowing. Another tank by my Korean friend Shin. I mean, just by looking at how he arranged the wood and the plants at the back, you already feel that the tank is flowing. Yeah, so it is very dynamic. So these are these real, very good example of some underwater aquascape. So how to create an underwater scape? These are the 4 basic requirements for us to create an underwater aquascape. First, no terrestrial element, meaning we cannot build anything that is above water. Lines, common directions, and unstable. When we say lines, it means all our woods and rocks that we arrange in our tank, they have to or they form some kind of lines at the same direction. Then you can create a float. And the woods or the rock has to give you an unstable impression. It means you don't want to see a rock or wood that is sitting and very stable. If a wood or rock that is sitting in the tank that feel very stable, it means they are not moving. So you need to create that unstable feeling. You see the line of the wood. The fish is also in the line. And also the refraction on top is also in the same direction, in a common direction, and then unstable. Unstable means if you see the woods here, they are not resting on the floor. They are hanging, suspending. So it gives us a feeling that it is not very stable. So lines, common direction, unstable. This one, do they have lines, common direction, and unstable? To me, yes. They are lines, and they are going to the common direction. And of course, it's looking unstable because it's like hanging. About this, lines, common direction, unstable, yes, you can see all the woods and the rocks actually going more or less the same direction, and they are forming some kind of lines, and they are unstable. This, they even use the plants at the back to enhance this line and direction. Even using rocks, you can use the rock to form some kind of lines, and then going to the same direction. If let's say sometime our hardscape is due to some limitation, we cannot create a stagnant hardscape. It doesn't matter, we can use plant to make a stagnant hardscape or to make a stagnant aquascape to show the flowing feeling. Because aquatic plant is a very powerful tool for us to use. In this photo, you don't feel the water is moving, but with the aquatic plant, it somehow gives you the feeling that the water is moving. This is how I meant to say that aquatic plants are a very powerful tool. And the guideline is so simple. You just use grassy, soft, and wavy aquatic plant. As long as the aquatic plant that we use can show some kind of wavy feeling, that is the aquatic plant that we can use. Because if you see in the river or in the lake, as long as the plant is soft and wavy, or immediately you can feel that it is flowing in the water. For example, this is my tank. I use aerial cabbage, vivipara at the back. I'm trying to make those plants flowing in one direction. The wood is also arranged in such a way that it is kind of same direction as the plant. And even the small wood that I arranged at the back, at the bottom. And these are some example of the plants that you can use if you want to create an underwater. These are all the plants that, as I said just now, they are wavy, they are soft, and they are grassy, meaning they look like something that is moved with the water flow. There are many others. Just remember that we need to, if you want to really make the tank flow, you need to use a plant that it is in this kind of category. Vallisneria, long hair grass, or at least any hair grass. Guy, Bovite, Fern, Lotus. These are some plants that is not easy to use if you want to create a flowing feeling. Because this, for example, the Buceplantra, Anubias, Sauogini, they are very short and they are very rigid. They are like not moving. This plant, even in our tank, no matter how big is your filter flow, they are not moving. Because they are like, very strong, that kind of feeling. So, of course, we still can use them, but not too much if you want to create that flowing effect. So these are the plants that I would say if you want to go for underwater, maybe try to use less. And the third one to create a flow is to use fish. The schooling or the swimming of fish can enhance the flowing effect. We have to try to get our fish to swim like this. In the photo, fish is like swimming in one direction, and say how can you make the fish to swim like this? How many photos we take to create 100 photo? 300 is minimum. My personal record is 3 days, like thousands of photos that I take just to get one that the fish is swimming like this. It's hard work, and sometimes you just can't get it. So if our fish is swimming like this, to me, it is not a dynamic shape because you cannot see the fish is swimming. Of course, for example, the middle, the black one, they are all swimming in one direction, but because of the shape, you don't feel the dynamic. For example, my tank, you see the fish direction, it's all like guiding you to in one direction. The third one is slightly easier. We want to give the fish a good home. Fish habitat means we want to create something comfortable for the fish. If we want the fish to be happy in our tank. And to do that, first of all, we need to provide them a lot of hiding space. It will depend on what kind of fish you get. Some fish, if they say it's big, you will need to have more space for them to swim. So this is important. And we need a lot of shadows. Shadows will make the fish feel comfortable. So if you look at this, my tank, I feel that I fulfill all. It has a lot of hiding space, a lot of space under the woods and a lot of shadows and a lot of space for them to swim. For this tank, I think it fulfills all the requirements. Many space to hide, many space to swim, and a lot of shadow. Same for this, I feel that it fulfills all the requirements. This, I think no. It has a lot of space for the fish to swim, definitely, but I don't see hiding space for the fish. The fish basically cannot hide anywhere. This tank, I'm very sure, let's say during night time, when the light is off, you can see the fish sleeping everywhere. This is my tank 2 years ago. This tank, when the light is off, and in the morning when I go to see this tank, when the light is off, I cannot find a single fish. There's no fish in the morning when the light is off. It means the fish are all have their home to go back to and to sleep or to rest or to hide. This is what I feel that I'm really creating a good habitat for my surrounding because I can't see them if the light is off. But for tank like this, I'm sure the fish will be everywhere because there is no place for the fish to hide. But I have to say, this is a world-class tank. It's just that it is not underwater to me. How about this? This is the same. I don't see any hiding space. I don't see shadow. So it is the same. So we cover the fish habitat already. So we go to the last one. Wetness. What does it mean wetness? What is wetness in aquascaping? It is anyhow wet. So how can we make it more wet? This is the two masterpiece from Master Fukada. Two world champion. To me, one is wet, one is dry. You need to understand the meaning behind why I say it is wet and why I say it is dry. Okay? Both are world class tank, world champion tank, just that one is wet, one is dry. These are both my tanks. One is wet, one is dry. Again, I have to say the dry layout is not a bad layout. Yeah, these are all dry layout, but they are very good. So I'm not saying dry is not good, just that today we're talking about underwater. So how to create a wet aquascape is actually very, very simple. You just need to have more aquatic plants and you just need to create more shadow. That's the two things that you need to do when you want to create. You want to make your tank wet. More aquatic plants, more shadow. That's it. Very simple. So that's it. We cover the 4 requirements of creating underwater aquascape. And I have to say that it is a very fun style, but challenging. And I would like to invite you to join me to create more of this. I'm not against any diorama. I come from diorama background. I know how diorama works. I know how landscape works. But I just feel that underwater is actually more fulfilling, more fun, more challenging. And I really want to see one underwater aquascape win the world champion soon. And I don't see many people doing it. That is why I want to really push or promote this style. Yeah, this is the presentation part. We are done. We will take a short break because we need to move out the cloud. So we take a short break.